This deal came out of nowhere. Aston Villa have signed Ian Maatsen, the left back from Chelsea. And I'm just trying to figure out how the hell this deal happened so quickly. Maatsen's only been linked to Villa for a few days now. And they moved really fast to get this deal done, which is a huge W for Aston Villa. Because I believe Ian Maatsen is a really good player. And I believe in his potential. I think he could become one of the best left backs in the world if he's utilized correctly. And I think he's a player that immediately upgrades them. He makes them better. I think he's better than Lucas Digne, and I think he starts a majority of next season for Villa. I can't see him coming off the bench, maybe early on, but I think he'll earn a starting spot really quickly. Now, I need you guys to get in the comment section and help me out here, because I'm very confused as to why Chelsea would sell this guy. Doesn't really make any sense to me. The more that I think about it, I'm like, why? Because I'm somebody, unlike most people, I think Chelsea have a good squad. I also think Chelsea are going to surprise a lot of people next season. But when I look at that team that has all this young potential, an area that I think they need to address is left back. You can't tell me that if you're Enzo Maresca, you're looking at Ben Chilwell and Cucurella as your two main left back options and you're feeling confident. These are two players that have shown you that they're not good enough to be at Chelsea. And the fact that Chelsea are also doing a whole youth thing, right? They want to bring in young players and develop them and make them really good. Ian Maatsen fits that mold. We're talking about a player that spent the second half of last season on loan at Dortmund, where he cooked in the Bundesliga, where he played really well in the Champions League. He was an important player in their run to the Champions League final with his big performances, with the goal against Atletico Madrid. And I know that he made the mistake that led to Real Madrid scoring their second goal. But aside from that, I think that his loan at Dortmund was very successful. Now, I thought he should have stayed there, but Dortmund couldn't afford to pay his release clause, which I think was $35 million. So he ends up going back to Chelsea, where I thought common sense would say, let's keep him. Look at what he did at Dortmund. Let's give him a chance. Ian Maatsen is better than Cucurella and Ben Chilwell. So I just don't understand why you would sell him, especially to another Premier League team, because Aston Villa have a good squad. They are going to be competing for top 4 again. And you've just strengthened them when you yourself are going to have to go into the transfer market and possibly bring in a left back. I don't get it. And it's not even like Pochettino is still there, because Poch is the one that didn't really give Ian Maatsen a chance once the season started last season. Pochettino is the manager that sent him on loan to Dortmund. Enzo Maresca should have given him an opportunity, especially if all the reports are to be believed that Chelsea are going to be playing possession, attacking-based football. Maatsen would have fit perfectly in there. But as I said, huge W for Aston Villa. I think he is an immediate starter in this team. And they have now strengthened. They're going to be in the Champions League next season. And I think having a player like Ian Maatsen on that left wing, overlapping, putting crosses into the box, yeah, it's going to be dangerous. Now, I'm going to be curious to see what other moves Villa make this summer, but this is a very good way to start it. Very good way to start your transfer window. I think Maatsen, look, he does have his deficiencies, right? Like, he is a modern fullback in terms of he's one of these fullbacks where on the ball and going forward, they look fantastic. But defensively, there's still some questions there. But that can be worked on. Unai Emery is the second best manager in the Premier League now that Klopp has officially left. Look at his CV before you talk to me about anybody else. And I think the way that he had Villa cooking last season, I'm expecting somewhat of the same next. And Maatsen's going to be able to help them. I mean, the business that club has done since selling Jack Grealish to Man City has been fantastic. They have a good squad, the second best manager in the league. They're now in Champions League. And I think the future for Villa is looking bright. They just got to keep making these smart deals. They don't get finessed. They don't pay crazy amount of money to bring in players. But they do have to bring in a few more, right? Even though I said I like the Ian Maatsen deal. But with you being in the Champions League, with you also still having to compete in the Prem, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, you got to make that squad a little bit bigger. And I know that Villa are kind of dealing with some FFP things right now because I remember seeing a report that they had to sell some players before the end of this month. And that's maybe why you see Douglas Luiz about to join Juventus, which I think is a big L for Villa because he is a really good player. But let's see what they do. Now, as far as Maatsen is concerned, right, I like him as a player. I think what he did at Dortmund for that second half of last season was really good. I was super impressed by him. But I thought he could have gotten a move to a better club. And this is no disrespect to Aston Villa. I rate your squad. I rate your manager. And I think that you guys are a very well-run club from what I've seen over the last few years. Look at your squad. Good deals, good players. And I'm curious to see how you guys will use Maatsen. But when I say I think he could have went to a bigger club, I think Ian Maatsen could have went to Man City. I think he could have possibly went to Bayern Munich if they lost Alphonso Davies. Because he impressed that much. And I think he's going to go right to the top. He's also signed a 6-year deal. I think that's a bit excessive. You're 22 years old. Why are you signing a contract that keeps you someplace until you're 28? Doesn't really make any sense to me. I would have signed a 4-year deal. I think that's pretty standard. The extra 2, it's a bit much. From Villa's POV, I think it's fantastic. But from the player's side, I thought Maatsen was going to end up, as I said, at Man City or Bayern Munich. More so Bayern Munich because they have Vincent Kompany. Ian Maatsen was on loan at Burnley the season before the last one where he cooked. And they tried to buy him, but I think he didn't want to leave Chelsea. Like, he wanted to try and earn a spot in that squad, which obviously did not work out. This is why he went on loan to Dortmund. But with Kompany at Bayern Munich, and them possibly needing a left back if Alphonso Davies ends up leaving this summer, I thought Ian Maatsen was going to be the player that they went in for. 35 million release clause. That's good business. Especially when the transfer market is so overpriced and a lot of these players are going for money that they're not worth. I actually think that Maatsen is fully worth all of that 35 or 37 million they're saying that this deal costs. So, yeah, man, I need you guys to get in the comment section, though. And let me hear what you think about Ian Maatsen going to Villa. Do you like the move? Do you not? I just got to understand, though, where Chelsea are coming from here. Because, yeah, left back is a position that they need. Ben Chilwell, Cucurella, they're not good, bro. So why couldn't Ian Maatsen get an opportunity? Somebody's going to have to explain that to me. I would have definitely went into preseason with him and saw how he looked in whatever system you wanted to play. And by the way, shame on Dortmund. Shame on them. They want to keep Maatsen. All the reports let us know that. But they couldn't give up 35 million to buy him. Like, this is why I don't rate the Bundesliga like that. Because the second best team in that league, Dortmund, they're not a serious club, bro. Like, they're the equivalent of a human trafficking organization. They want to find young kids, buy them for cheap, make them good, then sell them for profit. Dortmund don't actually care about competing. Dortmund don't actually care about winning trophies. They're just happy to finish top 4 so that they can be in the Champions League. Let's be honest here. A big club like Dortmund can't afford 35 million for a left back that you know works in your system. That's also 22 years old. So in a few years, you could probably sell him for like 60 or maybe even 70 M's if he keeps on developing. But yeah, man, look, good deal for Aston Villa. I think this guy going to come in. He's going to help your squad. And I think he's going to be a important player for them next season. Big L for Chelsea here. I think they're going to regret selling Ian Maatsen. It makes no sense to me. Ben Chilwell, Cucurella, that's your 2 left back options. Are you happy with that? Because I wouldn't be. Crazy. Anyways, people, as I said, get in the comment section. Let me know what you think about Ian Maatsen heading to Aston Villa. This is a surprise deal. Did not see this coming. But I got to give Villa credit. They've been doing some great business the last few years, and that's why they're in the Champions League. That's why they are, in my opinion, a legit threat to win something next season. You pair that squad with Unai Emery, who's a great manager, and I think good things are going to happen. So let's keep an eye on this situation. But yeah, people, let me know what you think. Don't forget to smash that like button, share, and subscribe. I'm out.